Ask yourself a question. If I said to you, what team or teams would you like to see on HBO's Hard Knocks next year? If the answer is Pittsburgh and Oakland, yeah, those aren't good teams right now. If the teams you want to watch on Hard Knocks, if you put a list in your head, and I would say I'd love to watch the Raiders with Gruden, I'd love to watch the Pittsburgh Steelers, there's a reason they're both out of the playoffs. Football's hard. Noisy football, noisy locker rooms make it harder. Pittsburgh's a mess. Pittsburgh's the team you'd want to watch on Hard Knocks now. The coach, Antonio Brown, Big Ben, media, comments, chatter, selfies. Listen, think about this. Does everybody understand how bad and how embarrassing this is for the Steelers? Joe Flacco, Tyrod Taylor, and Andy Dalton, all three starters in their division, got hurt, and Pittsburgh couldn't win the division. And those three starters, Andy Dalton, Flacco, and Tyrod Taylor, were replaced by Jeff Driscoll and two rookie quarterbacks who had never won an NFL game. I mean, and Pittsburgh couldn't win the division. Been saying this for years. The media loves their athletes to talk politics and be outspoken and be noisy and be on Instagram. The media loved Rex Ryan, and they love Richard Sherman, and they love their athletes to talk and create stories and headlines. And those teams don't make the playoffs. You know who got noisy this year? Green Bay, not making the playoffs. You know who was noisy all year? Oakland, not in the playoffs. You know who got noisy this year? Jacksonville. Seattle, though, was able to move their noisy players, their outspoken guys, out of town. That is the problem. Can't fire Mike Tomlin. You can't trade Big Ben. You can't get rid of Antonio Brown in 2018. He's the best receiver in football. Whereas Seattle could move their veteran, noisy players, Pittsburgh's trapped. They're not going to fire Mike Tomlin. He's been in multiple Super Bowls. You get a job in 30 seconds. You can't get rid of Big Ben. You can't get rid of Antonio Brown. They shipped Le'Veon Bell out of the city. They got noisier. This was not about Le'Veon Bell. I'm going to read this to you. I don't even think people understand this. They could not win a division against Jeff Driscoll and two rookies. What? The Steelers are 6th in total defense, 4th in total offense, tied for the NFL lead in sacks. Big Ben led the NFL in passing yards. Two receivers in a receiving league now over 1,200 yards. What? Those are Super Bowl numbers. It'd be one thing the Chargers can't win their division against, Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. You're like, yeah, totally get it. Or the Colts can't win their division, and you're like, well, J.J. Watt, the Texans defense, Deshaun Watson, I get it. There are times, Matt Ryan, Cam Newton lose to Drew Brees. You're like, well, yeah, the Saints are really good. Pittsburgh, this division, this was the weakest and the easiest the division had ever been. Rookie quarterbacks, Jeff Driscoll, lead the NFL in sacks. But here's the problem, because Pittsburgh also led the NFL in noise, in chatter, in selfies, in dumb penalties, in blowing leads, in tying Oakland. Don't fall for what the media does. The media loved Rex Ryan. They can't stand Belichick. The media loves noisy quarterbacks. The media loves quotes. But look at who's not in the playoffs this year. Noisy Jacksonville. And big personality Baker, and Big Ben, and Aaron Rodgers. And you know who is in the playoffs? Quiet Andrew Luck, and quiet Russell Wilson, and quiet Deshaun Watson, and not that talkative Dak Prescott, and the unquotable Mitch Trubisky. You can have all your personality. Not interested. Seattle's dynasty died the minute defensive players thought they were more important than a quarterback. Football is hard. Football practice is hard. Distractions create bad, underachieving football teams. Oh, this is just not. It's not that Pittsburgh missed the playoffs. Look at them statistically. Look at their division. This is as good a team as I've ever seen, and as dysfunctional a division as I've ever seen, and they couldn't win it. This is way bad than the media is making it out to be.